Welcome to Nursing Research and Evidence-Based Practice, Nursing 404A. I would like to welcome each of you to this class, and I hope that the class is going to be an exciting learning experience for you. I want to take the time to go over, in general, the class. Now, this does not mean that you do not need to read the syllabus. You need to read it in detail. But for right now, I want to give you a brief overview and a little introduction to me as your instructor. I'm highly committed to ensuring a learning environment that is exciting, rigorous, and empowers you to actively pursue learning and research. As an instructor of nurses, both novice and experts, it is my responsibility to introduce you to the art and the science of nursing and help you to embrace the joy we share in nursing. It is also my responsibility to foster in you a sense of duty to those we care for that must sometimes outweigh self-interest. The duty must include a desire to create new knowledge, find more effective ways to practice, advance policy, and use existing evidence in the provision of care. As with any art or science, nursing requires a passion for creating new knowledge, because without passion, the skills and knowledge alone will not sustain us when there are too many patients and too few nurses and not enough resources. If you review your syllabus, you will see that there is a course description, a goal for the course, and the objectives. This course is all about research and how we apply that research to practice for currently practicing nurses. Our goal is to gain an understanding and appreciation for the importance of nursing research in improving patient well-being through quality nursing care. We have 5 objectives that you should reach by the end of the semester. You should be able to describe the components of the research process, demonstrate the ability to assess, utilize, and apply various information resources available in healthcare literature, including electronic journals, the World Wide Web, national databases, and other library resources. Discuss development of the ethical code of conduct for research and its relationship to the basic rights of research participants. Apply principles of the research process to critical appraisal of nursing research literature. And describe the integration of evidence into nursing practice to improve outcomes. This course only requires one textbook, and that book is Essentials of Nursing Research, Appraising Evidence for Nursing Practice, the 10th edition by Pollitt and Beck. It is recommended that you have an APA style manual. That said, you can get most of the information you need about APA style on Purdue OWL for free. You are responsible for following APA style. I would like to spend a little bit of time reviewing the grading and the major assignments for this course. First, all assignments are required assignments. You may not pass the course without completing everything. Completion is essential. The first thing you must do is you must acknowledge that you have read the syllabus and the course schedule. While this is not a graded assignment, it is a required assignment, and you do not pass the course if you do not do this. All you need to do is say in your first discussion board post that You read the syllabus, you reviewed the syllabus and the schedule. You are responsible for it. The second is city training. And city training is your human subjects research training. I specifically want you to do social and behavioral research investigators basic course. When you log into City, you will need to register and you choose University of New Mexico. There should be no charge. The only thing that they would charge you for is continuing education credits, which you do not need. When you complete the course, it will give you a certificate. You print that certificate or download it, and then you upload it into Blackboard, and you get full credit. You will have a research diary that you will need to keep throughout the semester. There are 5 weeks that I ask you to make entries into it. It is listed under blog in Blackboard. It's 40 points for each week or 200 points total. Essentially, if you meet the criteria, in other words, it's clear that you're doing it, and it's clear that you're doing research and you have thought about it, then you will get all of those points. It's somewhat of an all or none assignment. The discussion boards, there are also 5 of. Your first post is always due on Wednesday, and your replies are always due on Friday. Essentially, you will get full credit for doing this if you address all the items that are required in the post. If you do not address all of the items, or if it's not quite there, then you will get a partial grade. If it's totally unacceptable, you will see a 0 on the assignment. From the point I post that 0, you have 1 week, 7 days, to resubmit. If you resubmit it, I will give you a maximum of an 80 on it, but I will look at it again so that you have the opportunity to do it and get it correct. Most importantly, it gives you an opportunity to go back and to look at the readings and to look at the lecture material and figure out what it was that you didn't understand so that you make sure that you've mastered this content. The biggest assignment, the biggest single assignment is the research paper, and you will work on that all semester long because all of the discussion boards are pieces that will add to your research paper. They are helping you build that paper. The research paper is linked to the style of a specific journal, the Journal of Nursing Scholarship, and I want you to go in, pull up their authored guidelines, and use those. I think that it's helpful to know how authors must format their papers, the guidelines that they use from a journal, and then to format a paper in that style. You will do a presentation. The presentation is based on your paper. What I'm wanting you to do is take your paper and sum it up in 3 to 5 minutes. What it was about and what was important. You will then respond to any comments on the discussion board in which it is posted. And then finally, a self-evaluation is due. So at the beginning of the semester, you are going to write SMART goals in one of your discussions. And your SMART goals are what you hope to learn this semester. At the end of the semester, you're going to grade yourself on the SMART goals. Now let me give you a hint. Because of the way I grade, one of the criteria for you showing that you've learned what you want cannot be your grade. I want specifics. Specifics about what you hope to learn and how you are going to assess whether you learned that. And it can't be a grade. So you're going to have to dig a little bit deeper. So a little bit more about how the assignments are graded. As I said, the city training and the discussion boards are complete or not complete. And if you get not complete, it means that you didn't demonstrate mastery, and I'm going to ask you to go back and do it again so that it will be complete. The research diary also is graded as complete or not complete, but again must demonstrate learning to count as complete. And then the research papers and presentations, this is the only real thing that you're going to get a letter grade on. I will grade them as a C, which means it needs work. If it meets the expectations, you will get a B, and if it exceeds the expectations, you will get an A. If you do not do the assignment, you cannot pass the course. The research paper and the presentations go together. You can't do the presentation if you haven't done the research paper because the presentation is about the paper. And obviously, since all of these assignments are graded as complete or not complete, you really need to complete all the assignments to pass the course. There are some important things that I have stated before, and I'm going to state here again because I think they are so important. All assignments are required. You cannot pass the course if you do not do all of the assignments, which is to say, I would say the class was not completed if you did not do them all. Complete means that the assignments meet expectations. If it does not meet expectations, then it will be marked as not complete. You will have 7 days to complete it. And I will then look at it and give it a grade. If I mark it as not complete and you get 7 days to resubmit, you get partial credit for that. Essentially, I will give you a maximum of 80% to resubmit. If it still doesn't meet the expectations, then the grade will revert to a 0. Keep in mind that when you don't meet expectations the first time, I'm going to tell you why it didn't so that you have time to go back and fix it. This is a rubric-free course. I want you to engage your creative mind and not just check a box. Research requires that you create new knowledge. And rubrics really put people into a box, thinking that if you just do everything it says, then you're going to be successful. But I want you to be creative. I don't want to tell you how to do this. Now, I've given you an example in Blackboard of a paper that I think's well done, which gives you an idea of what I think a paper should look like. And you have the author guidelines for the journal that has the style I want you to use. And you would be able to go into that journal and look at articles similar to what you're writing and have a very good idea of the expectations. But you will notice none of them are exactly alike, and they don't tell you exactly what you must do. The paper and the presentation can be done in sections and will closely follow the discussion boards. If you do the discussions, then you will be building your paper. In past semesters, I've had people do both the paper and the presentation as a group project, but this semester, I'm going to ask you to do them individually. And I want you to do them individually for a reason. I think that learning to read and comprehend research articles is essential for nurses. And I also think learning to write well is one of the fastest paths to a successful career. It will serve you well. And the best way to write well is to practice on a regular basis. So I've changed these back to individual papers and individual presentations. It does not mean that you can't get together in groups and share articles and resources and talk about your work, because you are all writing on essentially the same topic, although you may choose to approach it with different research or clinical questions. Here are some important dates I want you to remember. Please be sure and write these down. Go ahead and put them on your calendar now. The course introduction, the city training due date, the research paper, and the presentation. These are important dates for you to remember. They're big assignments. They are a large chunk of your grade, so please be sure and capture them in some place you will not forget, and you will see them on a regular basis. I have office hours every Wednesday from 10 to 11 Mountain Time, except school breaks and federal holidays. If you need me, one of the easiest ways to find me is to obviously attend office hours, which are open to all of my students. And the other good way to contact me is by email or through course messaging. If I do not respond to the course messaging within a day, please send me an email, or you will all have my cell phone number. Send me a text and say, check your course message. And I will be sure to respond to you. I respond to messages Monday through Friday. While sometimes I will respond on weekends, I do not always respond on weekends and reserve the option to respond on Monday. It is now your time to learn. I hope you take advantage of all the opportunities in this course, and that you participate fully in the course. Remember, there are no tests, and it is essentially a class that depends on your motivation to learn. I am here as the guide and your professor. Remember, when you're working on your projects, that they are team efforts, and you should fully participate with the other people in your class. One of the important things you learn in research is that it is a team effort. It is rarely an individual effort. I hope you enjoy this class. I'm here to help you. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions you have.